I made $20,000 yesterday and I ain't even jump up out the bed. Bag a leg, take a rent until he got the bed, walking like I'm Fred. Bonnie Rubble riding in the bubble, but it's stolen, watching for the feds. Made $20,000 yesterday, little boy, you heard what I said. You came in and rockin' the
It's the dark skin savage, my nigga. Oh yeah, what they gotta do, bro? They gotta subscribe, like, and comment down below if they do.
You have to do the post notification bell. Before I have no repping that, that's first and foremost. I'm about to max the rest of this water.
Today's the last day of February.
Hey yo, but what y'all gotta do is just hit the notification bell. It'll be a little fire every time we post. You know what I'm saying?
Instagram is popping up right now, man. Make sure y'all follow us on the gram. But today's video, we got 10 animal pets that attack their own owner. I'm black. Their own owner.
Same different.
It gotta work, bro.
Same shit.
Best friend gone wild to pretty scary critters you probably shouldn't keep as a pet. Here are 10 hungry or angry animals that decided to eat their owners.
What? Niggas said, huh? What type of, like for y'all, what type of animal do you feel like you should not even have as pets?
Snakes.
Tigers, monkeys, apes.
Monkeys? Like even a little one?
None of them.
I feel like you can have a monkey.
No, it's fucked up because it's like, nigga, monkeys aren't meant to be like pets.
Dogs
are more acceptable since because like you can have a connection with a dog.
But that's how long we've had them. Like
you can have a connection with a monkey too. You can have a connection
with every animal. The only thing is, most of those animals belong to the wild, bro.
Yeah.
You taking them from their habitat is like, nigga, you hurting them.
It's fucked up. Yeah,
some fucked up shit.
Number 10, Andre Lumboga. Dogs. Dogs are great pets and earn the name man's best friend for a reason. They are loyal and loving, but require all of their needs to be provided by their owners in exchange. Andre Lumboga from Indonesia failed to keep up with his side of the arrangement, though, and suffered the consequences when he returned from vacation in 2011. He had 9 dogs in total, and forgot to leave them any food or water for the 2 weeks he was away. Neighbors in his town of Manado first became suspicious that something had gone awry when they noticed his luggage had been left outside his home for a few days after his return. So officers went to investigate. Upon reaching the property, they noticed a foul smell. And when the door was opened, they realized what had happened. The dogs, starved and ravenous after 2 weeks without food, had turned on their owner and devoured him, as well as 2 of the smaller dogs. They found his skull picked clean in the kitchen and the rest of his body in the front of his home. The dogs also tried to attack the police officers, who had to paralyze them to continue their investigations. The story of Andre Lumboga heeds a warning to...
Alright, hold on now. Why the fuck they have to find a nigga to just do this? They really just told that nigga, alright, so what I want you to do is just lay on the floor and we're gonna grab you by your feet. Alright, and we're gonna go like this. Like, nigga, how much did he get paid to do that?
So them niggas really ate that nigga, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
If I forget that I gave my dogs some food and I was gone for like 2 weeks, I'm not going back home. They're not supposed to eat humans, bro.
They're not meant to. Just like, bro, no animal's supposed to eat humans, bro.
Let me keep it a beat, bro. When these animals be in our houses, bro, nigga, it's like if it ever comes down to it, it's them versus us, nigga. Because that's how they look at this shit, nigga. Nigga, these dogs, don't forget these niggas is like wolves, bro. They probably made a pack and was in there for a week. But just wait, yo, you hide up the steps, you hide at the corner, you hide in the garage. Yo, we gonna get this nigga.
I see them nigga look at a light bulb. Oh,
them niggas heard the doorbell. They said, "Woo, I'm about to eat." But I know when they heard the door, them dogs fucking scattered. They heard the.
They're like, oh, who the fuck is that in my house?
Look after your favorite friends, or the tables might well turn. Number 9, Kellyanne Walls. Bear. Most of the pets on this list seem like the kind of creatures that only very brave or stupid people would keep. But keeping a 350-pound black bear, seems like you're kinda just asking for trouble. Kellyanne Walls, a 37-year-old from Pennsylvania, learned the hard way in 2009. when she made a mistake and paid with her life. She and her husband were collectors of exotic pets, and her husband worked as an exotic pet dealer. In 2007, they had reported that they kept a lion, cougar, jaguar, tiger, black bear, leopard, and 2 servals on site, each of which were supposedly kept in adequate enclosures. On the fateful day, Kellyanne had gone into the 15 by 15 foot steel cage to clean it. Rather than moving the bear to another location, she simply threw a shovel full of dog food onto the side to distract it while she cleaned the other side. The bear, seeing a more tasty option, turned on her and began to maul her. Her kids sadly saw what happened and called a neighbor to help, who shot the bear while it was still on top of her. It was too late though, and she died almost immediately. Number 8, Carla Nash. Carla Nash visited her friend Sandra Harold in 2009, and within moments of arriving, would be subjected to a horrific attack that would change her life forever. Harold had adopted a chimpanzee called Travis, who was well known after appearing in adverts for Coca-Cola and Old Navy. Unfortunately, something about Carla's arrival agitated the normally well-behaved chimp, and he immediately jumped on her and started to bite, scratch, and maul her. The injuries she sustained through what was described as a brutal and lengthy attack were severe. Torn her eyes, nose, lips, and jaw, and severely injured her arms. The attack was stopped when a sheriff arrived and shot the chimp, but Carla's ordeal had only just begun. Years of facial reconstruction surgery followed, and 8 years later, she still had to live in an assisted home because of the difficulties she was still experiencing. And now for number 7. But first, be sure to subscribe to World List if you...
Kiss my black ass.
Yeah, World List my ass.
You tried to put that little ass part in there, and I'm gonna just show you what we gonna do because you put that bullshit in there.
They're used to dangerous animals in South Africa. In fact, they're where most of the private zoos in the States source their prized exhibitions from. But even this familiarity proved fatal for Marius Els in 2011, when his beloved pet hippopotamus turned its sights on him. Els had been repeatedly warned by friends and authorities that the creature could not be tamed, but he saw it as a son. He had cared for the animal since it was 5 months old, and he never believed that it would cause any harm. And he couldn't have been more wrong. By the time it was 5 years old, it weighed over a ton. And while no one knows why the hippo attacked its owner, it did bite him to death. The former Army major's body was found submerged in the river, where the hippo had previously been rescued from during a flood, with horrific wounds. He wouldn't have stood a chance against the onslaught. Els should have listened to the advice he was given. Despite looking cute, hippos are one of the most dangerous animals there are, and responsible for more deaths each year than lions, elephants...
I'm hip, yo.
Like, bro, who the hippo? Yo, you hippo? But this nigga said, "This my son, bro." Like, bro, I see that nigga as a son. Oh, nigga, that nigga is like 1,000 fucking pounds, bitch. Nigga, that is your dad, motherfucker. And that nigga will eat your ass.
How you think hippopotamus tastes, bro?
I don't know. They look like they taste delicious, bro.
I feel like they look like they taste like fucking gooey.
Nah.
Yeah, they do. Like real fat,
like octopus.
They like they got good meat in them paws.
This nigga gay.
Birds, buffaloes, and rhinos all combined. Number 6, Cynthia Lee Gamble. Tiger. Cynthia Lee Gamble's friends described her as fearless, something that seems understandable, considering she kept a 500-pound Bengal tiger in a cage in her home in Minnesota. She was an animal expert and lover, having been involved in a number of movies.
How is a tiger weigh 500 pounds and a bear weigh 300?
Actually, I think where bears most weight come from is blubber.
Yeah.
And muscle weighs more than fat.
Them tigers be like fucking 300 straight muscle, nigga. 500 straight muscle, boy.
Bro, they don't even live, bro.
It's understandable, considering she kept a 500-pound Bengal tiger in a cage in her home in Minnesota. She was an animal expert and lover, having been involved in a number of movies and documentaries, and frequently raising, training, and filming wolves, wolverines, coyotes, and foxes. She had apparently kept tigers on her property for over a decade. So if anyone was experienced and aware of the dangers, then she certainly would have been. Despite this, though, she was fatally mauled by one of her tigers in 2006. In what seems like a tragic accident. Enclosures will typically have individual cages that are separated from a pass-through area by heavy drop doors. To enter, the tigers would be coaxed into their cage. The doors would be lowered, and it would be safe for a human to enter to clean or feed. When they found Cynthia's body, one of the doors remained perilously open, leaving her open to attack from one of the tigers, which is ultimately what happened. It was a tragic end to the life of a celebrated wildlife enthusiast, but also
shit, bro, this shit low-key pissing me off.
Hey, I'm saying, bro, the niggas be trying to kill the animals and lock them niggas up or take them meal when nigga they the one that took them from their habitat.
But the thing, like, nigga, I get it that, you know, tigers, lion, whatever, they're like cute animals, bro. Don't get fucked up, bro.
They're not cute.
No, bro.
Them dogs is cute. They cute.
They cute.
Nice
they cute till they open their damn mouth.
But the thing is,
they're not cute when they nibbling on your neck.
It's just like we know the type of creature they are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes you know something that's bad for you, but that's that shit that you want because it's gleaming.
I just
you know
hate how
like,
humans operate sometimes. How the fuck you get mad at that animal and try to take him out?
If you got an animal, bro, you gotta keep that glick, my boy. Cause if that shit ever run up on me, bro, that's getting blasted.
to those who get a little too complacent living with dangerous animals. Number 5. Terry Vance Garner, hogs. It's something you might see in a gangster movie as a way to dispose of bodies. But for one Oregon farmer, the vicious nature of hogs became all too clear. Terry Vance Garner went out to feed the hogs on his farm in September of 2012, the same way he always did. But this time, he didn't return. A family member went to investigate a few hours later, and to their horror found his dentures and pieces of his body scattered around the pen. Damn. But most of Terry had gone consumed by the herd. Terry had apparently been bitten by one of the pigs a few months before, after accidentally treading on a piglet. So there have been suggestions that it may have been an act of revenge, emergency, like a heart attack, or simply been knocked over by one of the beasts before they began to devour it. With the pigs weighing up to 700 pounds, far larger than is typical for sale at market, there wouldn't have been much the 69-year-old could do once they had begun.
Oh, yeah, he's 69
Number 4.
Years old. He damn about for himself.
Bro, I'm telling you, sometimes these animals be plotting. They be like, yo, knock that nigga over. Niggas say, bro, all you gotta do is knock him over.
Them niggas be looking at each other like, you gonna knock him over? Yeah, I'm gonna knock him over. Niggas be conversating, talking about some, you sure he not gonna fall? Nigga, that nigga's 69, bro. That nigga was here when my mom was here. Like, nigga, he not gonna...
What them niggas said, what they was saying?
You don't even play with us no more.
What was they saying?
That nigga didn't feed me yesterday.
Dog. A little known fact about canines in the wild is that they have a natural tendency to remove diseased flesh. It's something James Little, a 61-year-old from Oregon, probably wishes he had known before he went to sleep one afternoon. You see, James was diabetic, and as the disease affects the extremities and makes them numb, it's thought that his pet Shiba Inu mistook this for a danger and proceeded to chew off 3 of his toes.
Damn.
He woke up and noticed his missing toes, so called the emergency services and was taken to a hospital, and he was soon fine enough to return home. The dog, on the other hand, was not forgiven and put up for adoption straight away. Hardly surprising considering James would otherwise have been scared to go to sleep for fear of what he'd wake up to find missing next. Number 3, Mark Vogel, spiders and more.
Hey,
Mark Vogel from...
He ate that nigga's toes like taquitos?
Taquitos.
Get out.
I see what you...
Don't dock that nigga. Get out. Walk the walk of shame.
I mean, it makes sense. The taquito is built like toes.
Taquitos,
Hey,
I was
clean, but I was clean.
Germany loved exotic animals and had a large collection of them around his home, from lizards and insects to spiders, snakes, and termites. He had pretty much everything you wouldn't want to see in someone's house, all in his tiny apartment. On a fateful day in 2004, Vogel's his black widow spider, called Bettina, escaped and bit him, and he soon died.
You know, that's
he
one
was
of
a
my worst
loner,
fears.
so no one noticed his absence for a while, until neighbors called police to complain of a smell. The police broke in to investigate. Nothing could have prepared them for what they were to find. Vogel's pets were loose around the apartment. His body lay on the floor covered in spider webs, with spiders crawling in and out of his nose and mouth. Huge tarantula webs hung in the corners of the room, filled with bits of flesh that had been torn from his body. Several thousand termites were feasting on a cavity within his chest, and poisonous frogs and snakes roamed free. It is thought that he'd been dead for 2 weeks.
How did
and
they
the
all
reason
get
why
out?
all this happened? There was an electrical surge in the heating elements in the cages, which exploded and released all the animals.
Damn.
Number 2, Janet Veal. Cats. Cats are also reliant on their owners, particularly if they're kept indoors
You know,
all
cats
the
sit on
time.
baby chest
So
too.
when Janet Vogel, a recluse
They
from
have
Ringwood in
targets.
England, died from natural causes, her pets were left with no choice but to start picking away at their former owner. After realizing that they hadn't seen her for a while, and with letters spilling out of the letterbox, police were called to find out what had happened. They were unable to enter through the door, so were forced to enter the property by using a ladder to get in through an open first floor window. Inside, they found what they described as a distressing scene. In the kitchen and living room were a number of dead cats and dogs, but some were still alive. Looking around further, they soon found Janet Veal, dead on the kitchen floor with injuries that were consistent with being chewed on by her cats. Rather than being killed by her animals, the coroner believed that she had died from heart problems, and the pets had no choice but to eat her in order to stay alive. Number 1, Ronald Huff, monitor lizard. The top spot on our list goes to Ronald Huff from Delaware, who in 2002 was
They said they got fucked up by a lizard, bro.
Bro, I'm still stuck on how these animals, bro. They I can't be mad at them, but these niggas was that hungry. They was like, yo, y'all, as a collective, let's band together and eat this bitch.
No, he almost dead anyway.
Animals are smart, bro. We just be looking at them like, oh, because we like the higher animals, we believe, you know, we're over all of them. So, nigga, but this motherfuckers is smart as shit.
Them niggas will get
They
you.
know how to survive, bro. Us versus, like, you know, wild animals, bro. Them niggas don't be having goals, bro. Like, what? Nah, you know what? They might. Like, a dog might be like, man, I'm about to shit in the house 3 times today. Fuck it.
It's crazy. When you beat their ass, they know better. Like, they'll know. Like, they'll actually sit here and think, like, should I shit again right there? Because yesterday when I did that, I got my ass beat. And I didn't get food for the whole day.
Niggas
So I'm
that you-
gonna try. It ain't be in the midst of them getting ready to shit in the same spot. They don't think about that shit, but cats just don't give a fuck. They'll just...
I believe animals' goals is to eat, bro.
That's it.
It's just
Like
survive.
survive, yeah.
dead in his apartment by police officers, surrounded by 7 Nile monitor lizards that were feeding on his lifeless corpse. Monitor lizards are wonderful creatures, but not exactly ideal for keeping as pets. They grow to about 6 feet long and have
nigga,
saliva that is teeming with bacteria that can prove fatal to humans. The county coroner was unable to determine whether the 42-year-old had died from natural causes or from an attack by his pets. It's thought more likely that it was from natural causes, though, with the lizards having no choice but to start eating him in an attempt to survive. By the time the police found his body, he'd suffered a considerable amount of damage, especially to his face, but luckily all of the lizards seemed to be in pretty good health. Are you surprised by any of these? Which story scared you the most?
I ain't
Let us know in the
surprised
comments
at all.
below. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later on
What I was
Worldless.
supposed to hear.
Nah, the one that surprised me is the dogs, bro.
Yeah, the dog.
dogs, they didn't feed them in a while and they munched his ass up.
That first one was a good one. That was a good way to set the video up.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Man, don't go out here getting these goddamn animals, bro. These animals do not belong in your house, bro.
Yeah, up here, bro.
Nigga, cats, dogs, okay. Nigga, we've grown centuries with these motherfuckers. But nigga, even them niggas shouldn't be allowed in the house.
Up here, bro.
It's this nigga. Let these motherfucking tigers and hippos and fucking bears live, my nigga.
Now, when you doing that, that's some over the top shit.
Like, come on now. Like, you think a bear can literally just dap your ass up and dislocate your whole shoulder, my nigga?
A bear can accidentally kill your ass.
Nigga, a bear can sit here and say,
oh,
man, give me a hug.
But you know, that's why I really don't like pets, low key. Like, nigga, even if it's a dog, like, I really don't like them shits. Just because if that shit, like, barking me the wrong way, I'm beating its ass. Like, and I don't care about none of that PETA shit y'all be talking about, nigga. Let a dog bark and growl at me the wrong way, nigga. You catch one, subscribe.
Hey, yo, that would be it for this video. But thank you guys for tuning in, bro.
Hey man, please don't forget to
Like, share, subscribe if you're new. God loves you. God bless you. And we're not.
Certified stepper, I slide with the four. Nigga want smoking, we kick through his door. Fuck all that bull.